Carry on, and welcome to Stoke Aside. We're the Earth Meditation Tribe, and if you're watching this in cyberspace, we will start shortly. And to my right is Glenn, who has been playing the Native American flutes for the last little while. And in the first part of the afternoon, Glenn will be playing behind me, and if Rahasya and I get our heads around the interface with these flutes, Rahasya may even want Glenn to stay up here, but that's Rahasya's call. So Rahasya will come on at about 2:30, maybe earlier, and then Tanya Wester to my left is our feature presenter today, and she will be leading a kirtan and a meditation and other stuff from about 3:15. So as best we can, we'll try to be organic, but because we have such a flood of great talent in this area, Steve and I are trying to accommodate them in terms of creating this platform. So, at the start, I'm going to lead off with a little story about the mountain. And if Rahasya moves into the flow with that story, who knows? He may continue it on, or he may just point me to the left and say, I've got the seat. We'll see. 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was sitting in a cafe in Brunswick Heads, and a young guy came out and sat on the table next to me and said, do you mind if I play my flutes? And I said, well, I'd love you to. And Glenn then played 2 or 3 of his flutes, and I said, well, what does inspire all this? And correct me if I'm wrong, Glenn, the clear impression I got was the Hopi tribe in America. And they are quite famous, particularly in the context, correct me if I'm wrong, with any of this stuff. Hopi means peace. And so if you look at the internet and YouTube, you will find that a lot of the prophecies, etc., in relation to what's happening in the world or about to happen are coming from the Hopi. More about that in a moment. The intent is similar to what we did with Tanya last month. Tanya ended up only getting a very short period of about 20 minutes last month. You might remember Michael. And we said, well, Tanya, if you come back again, you will be the feature in October. So I want to reassure you that you will be getting plenty of music later in the day. So the first story, and this is going to be an abridged version. Some of you know that Rahasya and I live at a place called Mevlana near Mullumbimby, and one of our neighbours is Arupa. And Arupa is the best of all gardeners. And Greg, yes, you can have flowers from my garden for your Earth Tribe event, but when you cut the bush, you must talk to the bush and the flowers and tell them what's going on and thank them. And so Arupa's kind of a special person. And she tells me of a story in about 1986 when she and a number of her lady friends came to Wollongong, and the intent was, this was at the end of Aquarius or the Third Awakening or whatever it was, Glenn, around 1986. I'll let you come in.
I've been born there.
He wasn't there.
79 for clarity.
In any event, so Arupa came with her lady friends to the mountain and was told that she couldn't climb to the top. I think it was then called Mount Warning. I don't know when it became Wollongong, but in any event, she was told that it wasn't for her that day. And in a subsequent conversation, when she did some homework, she found out that, in fact, at that time, some Hopi elders had come to Australia, and they were connecting with the Bundjalung peoples. And there's a connection that happened around that time. I won't go into the nature of that connection because many of you know the story already. That's chapter 1. I'm giving you the abbreviated version. Mm-hmm. Chapter 2. Some years later, Arupa happened to be in India, travelling around, backpacking, wanting to become enlightened, and trusting her instincts. And the bus driver at one point in the road said, "This is where you get out." "Oh, is it?" "Yes, it is." And so she walked up the road, and all of a sudden to the right, she came across a Sangha, whatever you'd like to call them, Rahasya, or correct me if I get the wording wrong, a Sangha, and yes, it was Ramana Maharshi's hangout. And she stayed there for some time, and she vividly recalls walking up the road each day to do her meditations. And and when she got near this mountain, there was an energy about it, a spiritual energy that was very strong. And many of you know that, let me get the pronunciation correct, Arunachala is a very famous mountain. Oops, I'm being corrected all the time here, Rahasya. You might be up much sooner than you think. Arunachala? Arunachala. Okay.
Was there a mountain?
It was this mountain. It was a very special mountain.
It didn't have a name.
And she would go there, and even when she was in that area of the mountain, she noticed the energy. And chapter 3, if we were doing the long version of this story, although she may come and do it herself in the next few months, is that from time to time, when she wants to create something special in her life, she does the back trip between Murwillumbah and Mullumbimby, because at some point along that track, as you look at Mount Warning, it is the striking image of Arunachala. And the story has it, of course, that many of these great spiritual mountains around the world are the home of crystals and all sorts of other fabulous stuff.
I once heard a Lakota wisdom keeper speak of the mountains as Mother Earth's breasts.
Oh.
Her breasts.
Right. Okay, so that's the first part of what I was going to say to you this afternoon. The second part of the conversation, Glenn, I was listening that afternoon that you were sharing this information with me, because when I looked at the Hopi links that you gave me, there were a few things that came out of it. And some of them just so happened to accord with the agenda of the Earth Meditation Tribe. One of the first things is that when you look at the Hopi, and they are, quote, the special ones. I hope I don't offend anyone by saying that. These are the things that I got out of my notes from looking at your links. Unless this species is willing to embrace a spiritual path, I beg your pardon, unless you individually are willing to embrace a spiritual path, ... you won't make it. Everything has a spirit. Some call him Buddha, Krishna, Jesus Christ, etc., etc. We call him Grandfather.
Concussion.
We are on Earth only for just a few winters. We won't veer off into the Buddhist three universal truths today, but those are true words. The Hopi believe that the storms and the floods will increase and they'll become greater as we move towards the third shaking of the earth. Have I got the right shaking?
Yeah, there's a book called The Hopi Survival Kit, if anyone's interested really, because it's coming directly from them. I don't have the authority to speak on behalf of them or anything like that. I've just spent 14 years listening. And there's a great book, it's called The Hopi Survival Kit, you can get it easily enough. And it basically is a little bit of their story of inspiration, how they became in contact with where they got their instructions from, correct living on the planet, their prophecies as people call them, where all that came from. I got a lot of strength and character from that book, listening to the conviction of their spirit. You know, when there was the European way of life and mindset coming into their areas and stuff, they would use paper, you know, legalised bits of paper as a way of trying to extract the land. And one of the main spiritual elders of the time refused to sign any pieces of paper, and ended up in jail with the people who had been actively in murders or rapes and things like that, apparently 6 or 7 times, and never broke the covenant that they say that they formed with the Great Spirit through Marcel. And it's just a really great book. It's got a lot of beautiful detail, a lot of nice stories. So I could really just recommend that book if you want to go a bit deeper into their understandings of that. There is one, speaking of 1986, there must have been something about 1986, because while the ceremonials were going on here, there's been a talk on YouTube just recently loaded up not long ago, but it was said to have taken place in 1986 at the Intercontinental Indigenous Conference. And it's a gentleman just giving a presentation, and if you go on YouTube and you put in the third shaking of the earth, it gives you all the options. It's the one that goes for about 38 minutes. And it's just a beautiful little 38-minute presentation that he did back in 1986, and it's got some nice information, especially for this beautiful, incredible time we're in now. For sure.
I should have introduced the first section of the afternoon with that book, The Spirit of Love, and that's a book that Glenn did some years ago. Can I just acknowledge you, Glenn, quickly? And I hope you're getting the point from me clearly. As with Tanya last time, it was only short, but it's long today. Glenn is only doing a short gig for us today. Call it an appetizer, if you will. But if it's well received, you will get the longer version in the next month or two. Are you okay with that, Michael? You seem to go to all these events.
I'll do it. Of course. Anything you say.
At the peak of this destructive cycle, Glenn was so consumed by addictions that on any given day saw the abusive consumption of cocaine, MDMA powder, Special K, ecstasy, crystal meth, marijuana, prescription drugs, antidepressants, sleeping pills and alcohol. A time that saw him attempting and failing to outrace police cars through the streets of a Melbourne suburb one night, to experiencing a near-death experience while bleeding out from a glass injury when holidaying overseas. A time of daily self-harming, with the prospect of suicide never being far out of reach. However, through the unconditional love of his parents, Glenn found himself backpacking through South America, where a collection of events and direct experience with the local people and Mother Earth herself triggered the beginning stages of what would later become known to him as the shattering and dissolving of the false identity of the illusionary mind-made self and its poor me story. An inner journey that awakens the spirit of love known as Glenn, to not being a personal identity as such, but rather a way of being, a way of simplicity, a way of the heart, a way that embraces and dances with the present moment like no other.
Wow, beautiful.
Thank you.
Glenn, there are two things that we can do now. We've promised people, I think, in the ad that there'd be a mountain meditation, but over the last few events that we've had here, towards the end of the day, Rahasya, we're finding that people don't want to listen all the time. They would love to have a sharing circle. And in the tradition of the Lakota people, any who went to their meetings here about 2 years ago, I was part of the group that brought them here, the Standing Rock people. We all sat in a circle. Tanya, I'll mention this to you too, because one of us maybe will incorporate this. You sat around the main hall in Mullumbimby. There were 200 people. You got your name, if you wished, and one word. Just think about that for a moment. I think what we'll do is a mountain meditation. And I will stop from time to time, and you just go with the flow, my friend. Are you okay with that?
I have to be.
So I'll ask you to get into your meditation poses. And before we do, may we acknowledge our brothers and sisters. Of the indigenous peoples of the world, including the Bunjalung and the Hopi tribes. May they be well and happy, and may they live their lives with ease, and may they be safe and free. So, if you wish, come with me on this meditation. It will only be brief. Touching and connecting with the earth. Bringing your hand to the ground. And breathing in. I know that I'm breathing in. And breathing out. I know that I'm breathing out. And as we breathe in, we breathe in the joy and the happiness of sitting in this sacred space. And as we breathe out, letting go of any suffering or any sadness, any baggage, any clutter in your life. So once again, we'll do this together to create a congruence in the octagon. Breathing in deep into your belly. Hold. And breathing out slowly. Imagining the most beautiful mountain that you can think of. Observe its shape. The lofty peak. The base firmly connected with the earth. And the steep or gently sloping sides. Note how huge it is, how beautiful, whether seen from close or from afar. Perhaps your mountain has snow on top and trees on the lower slopes. It may have one peak or a series of peaks. However it appears, just sit breathing with the image of your mountain. feel ready, see if you can bring the mountain into your body, so that your body's sitting here and the mountain you imagine become one. Throughout the day, as the sun travels through the sky, the mountain just sits. Light and shadow and colours are changing from moment to moment, but the mountain remains still beneath the light. Dawn lights the top of the mountain like fire. Clouds pass across its peaks. Day turns to night. The moon rises and shines on the mountain with silver light. And all this time the mountain just sits, simply being itself. And spring changes to summer, summer to autumn, autumn to winter. The snow falls, covering the rocks and trees. Flowers push up through the earth, bloom and fade away. Birds sing, possums play in the trees. The seasons flow from one to another. The weather changes moment by moment and by day. Sometimes wild storms. They pass and all becomes quiet. The mountain reminds us of our need for stillness, silence, and space. In our lives, we experience constant change. Friends come and go. We move house, we change schools, we learn new things. Sometimes we are happy, sometimes angry or sad or confused. These changes are just like the clouds that pass across the mountain. We are here for just a few winters, and our own mountain nature is still and quiet and strong. It is always there. staying as you are, rather than using the Lakota technique of handing the mic around the room, I'm simply going to invite anyone who would like, don't have to say your name, we're in cyberspace, your name in one word. If you wish, I will start. Geo, and my word. It can be a phrase if you wish, but please no life stories. Geo, heartfulness.
Tanya, spaciousness.
Maggie, peacefulness.
And love, pure love. Wendy, serenity. Nicole, surrender. Mareka, bliss.
Michael, soulfulness. Matthias, unloving.
Glenn, mint choc chip ice cream.
That's my favourite.
Yes.
If you want, then you can stay here.
You'll make me blush.
Rahasya, love. It's kind of perfect timing somehow. This morning when I woke up, it's almost like a sacrilege to put words to this, but when I woke up, it was so clear, and it still is very, very clear, that everything that we believe we are, or everything that we label as form, or every experience that we tell each other, every story that our mind creates, arises from this, from the formless, from love. And waking up this morning, it was like again and again and again, was clear that that's all we are ever. So I thought, if you like that, we can have a little guided meditation that doesn't park at any experience. And when we penetrate all these layers that we define ourselves with, with our name, with our body, with our feelings, with our experiences, and we penetrate it deeper and deeper. I don't know, probably many of you have experienced this, that at first we still can define ourselves through whatever we are or seem to be. And there comes a moment where all definition disappears, but we're still here. So when you told the story of Arunachala, I was there with my wife at the time, with Nora, in 2008. And I heard of it from so many places. You have to go to Arunachala, you have to sit in Ramana's cave. And it was always about an excitement to get something that perhaps Ramana got. And sitting in his cave, I don't know if anybody sat in his cave. Anybody sat in his cave? At the time, it was the same experience. Everything disappeared, and the cave was dark, and we were very lucky that we were alone in the cave, and we're just sitting. And mind interprets it as beautiful, as unique, as spiritual, as something absolutely special, as being the chosen few that can sit there alone. And all that didn't matter absolutely at all. At the time I didn't quite get it, that this is what I was looking for. I didn't quite get that what we call nothingness in our language is all there is. And it's not a negative nothingness where something is missing. It's a nothingness that contains everything. And when I hear myself say this, it's already all a lie, because it's not something. And just this morning, I don't know, I was lying in my bed, and that what we call nothing is really the essence of love. It's not addressed. It doesn't have a person or a thing to address to. So, if you're okay with that, I want to guide us a little bit through the layers into, at the time I called it the heart. But even giving it a name is not true anymore. Now, can you relate to that and want to play a little bit with it, or rather not?
I guess it really depends your direct experience within yourself, where you feel that is for you. We have this unique individual form that we seem to have here with us, and I kind of liken it to that beautiful snowflake kind of theory, where you look at this mountain, it's just a big pile of goo, but you go a little bit closer and that little bit closer, and finally you get that microscope and you find that perfect geometric pattern of just, and you're lost for words in one sense. So yeah, it's for how I experienced, I guess, just being comfortable with one's true spiritual nature. was just to be okay not having to know anything. I didn't have to study something to achieve something, or I didn't have to fit into a certain social category or place.
I'm just asking you if you want to play.
Oh, the flutes.
Huh?
The flutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doing the guided
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I told you it's not wise to have me up there. Make me blush.
Yeah.
Hello.
Beautiful.
So we're not going anywhere. We're not achieving anything when we are sitting here. You know, we're not. We have perhaps we can use this time to stop, to just stop. So close your eyes and be comfortable. And even when say, okay, we have a guided meditation, we probably some of us kind of go into that position that makes us meditative. That's even not needed. If you have a specific position, that's great, but it's not needed. And there's already so much presence here, so allow yourself to be just here. Just here. The way to experience more presence is perhaps through the body. Just feeling your body sitting here. Feeling the support of the cushion or the back. And as we are here, more senses can be observed, like we hear the birds, we hear all these sounds. And perhaps more senses are showing themselves, like hearing, feeling, tasting, smelling, seeing. And through these senses we may get a sense of what it means to be here. And perhaps for a while we can use the heart, the idea of heart, the word heart, the experience of heart, to feel into this moment. We could say on one level the heart is part of the feeling side of the being. So just for a moment feel your heart. And you may notice when you shift your attention to the heart, like each in-breath is like an expansion, not just in the chest and the belly through the breath, but also in, we could say in the energy field of the heart. And then when we breathe out, you can sense that we are melting deeper into that space, into that what we call the heart as a climate. And like this, each in-breath is an expansion and each out-breath is a melting deeper than the experience of this moment. And this is where the mind cannot follow anything. So we naturally melt deeper than what we call the person, like deeper than our thoughts, deeper than our feelings, deeper than our body sensations, deeper than the breath, deeper than the heartbeat. Deeper than all experiences. As we melt through all these layers, what is here deeper than all experiences? Obviously, I'm still here, but as what? As what? As all definitions stay on the periphery, I'm hesitant to use words now, but perhaps some of us recognize a formless state that we call love. But it's much, much bigger than these words, state or love. And I'd like to invite us to just sit as that for a while. I don't know how long, because time disappears here. Dissolving deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And for some of us it may feel like death. like deep nothingness. Allowing that which is always here to hold any experience that may come and go. Rest as love. feel that peace. We have not created it. It shows itself in the emptiness. Feel that love. It's not addressed. It is unveiled in the space that is here. Perhaps a sense of gratitude for just being here with all the present friends. And just like the breath moves through the flute and creates sound from emptiness, perhaps in a moment we can take a deep breath, maybe from inside, stretching the body a little bit. Until we feel ready to open the eyes to a completely new moment here. And perhaps out of that nothingness, some songs can arise. I don't know if that's the right timing here.
It's always the right timing. And
I think
I'm
love
sure.
singing itself could be a good move from nothingness to a unique form. Thank you.
Can I just say, if you need to go somewhere, there's a little place in the bushes over here, not the house.
The love shack, just up the driveway, 10 steps, you'll see them.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sit here. You just slide the option.
Tanya, you go wherever you're comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I think I may have lost everything that I was going to say. It's beautiful. So I was going to start off with a heart meditation, but I think we've just done that. So thank you.
I should say, Rahasya, that one of our teachers from Byron Bay, Gabrielle, said, if I come late, can you make sure that Tanya doesn't start before? And I said, no, I'll make sure Tanya doesn't start before 3:15.
Ah.
So anyway.
I don't know what time it is. It's kind of timeless, really.
It's almost.
I'm going to pass around some sheets. I don't really want you to look at them if you don't need to. It's just for people that may not know some of these mantras, if chanting is very new to anybody here, which I doubt.
It's my first time.
Oh, it is? Okay.
It's my
Oh,
first time.
great. Awesome. All right. Well, there you go. It's sometimes nice just to have the words, just so you can connect and know the pronunciation a little bit more clearly. So I will pass these around. So you can just take the first two sheets. Actually, that one doesn't do that. Yeah. Let's see.
So 2 sheets go together?
Yeah, 2 sheets.
Thank you.
So, I'm going to start off with
You don't know that you probably know that. She came from you.
Alright, so I'm going to start off with the Gayatri mantra. Can I just have a show of hands, everybody that knows the Gayatri? Yeah, okay, great. So there's some of you that may not know. So, the Gayatri mantra is a very ancient healing mantra, and it's been used for thousands of years as both a meditation, as a calling in of the light, and for deep healing. So the Gayatri mantra has a long version and then a short version. So mostly what people may have heard previously is the short version. So David Premal and many people sing this short version. However, the longer version sort of extends the first part of the mantra, which is also a tuning up of the chakras. So each of the first mantras goes individually through each of the chakra centers as we chant it. And then the rest of the mantra is sort of like an opening up into the light. So I'm going to go through just a little bit about the meaning of the Gayatri mantra, because I think it's really nice just to connect with the deeper meaning. So firstly, I just want to say that mantra in itself is a very energetic language. So these words are sacred syllables that are chanted, and it actually has an effect on our energy body without us needing to know anything. So that's sort of firstly, like, you don't need to know anything about the meaning. However, our minds like to sort of have some sort of an idea of what we're talking about. However, I also just want to flag that each of the explanations that I say is just a drop in the ocean of the meaning of each of these mantras. And like Rahasya was saying, like, words cannot sort of encapsulate the meaning of anything, really. Just to know that it's much deeper than just these little words that I'm speaking. So the second part of the mantra is Tat Savitur Varenyam. Tat is that. And when I explain that, I like to sort of say it as that which cannot be spoken of. So that is sort of explaining and pointing towards that which cannot be spoken, that eternal absolute. So tat savitur. Savitur is a expression of the divine sun, the divine light, the cosmic light, the true self, the ever shining self that needs no fuel to exist. Tat savitur, that ever shining light. Varenyam. Varenyam is a word that sort of is acknowledging a gratitude and an adoration. So when we're saying Varenyam, it's like that beautiful light that we cannot speak of. Really going into that sort of the adoration of that light. So tat savitur varenyam. Then bhargo devasya dhimahi. So bhargo is, may this light purify from every single level of our being. May this light shine and reach every level of existence beyond the physical into all realms. Purify and cleanse and clear and burn the karma. So it's like bringing that light into every layer of existence. Bhargo devasya. Devasya is the shining one. So may the light of the shining one burn through and purify. Devasya dhimahi. Dhimahi is may we meditate upon. So it's may we meditate upon that shining light that burns through all things and that enlightens all things. Dio yona prachodaya. So this is may this light continue to propel us into that light. So may this guide us and lift us into that light forever. So Dio is the intellect. And I'm also putting a little bit of my own meaning on it, but Dio is the intellect. Dio yona. Prachodaya is propel or guide. So it's guide the intellect into that light, into that purity. So that's a little bit of an explanation so that we can have a feel for what we're tuning into with that light vibration, that vibration of light, of the true eternal self. And so the beginning part, we're going to chant Om and then a mantra. Now we're doing seven mantras which relate to the 7 chakras. And this is calling in every level of existence. So as we go through the chakra column, we also go through different levels of consciousness. So the base chakra is more the earth, Svadhisthana is more the astral, and then we're going through all these different stages of existence. So when we chant these, we can visualize these chakras and move up through the column. And then the rest of it is basically we're just saying, may this light penetrate through all of these layers of existence, beyond time as well. So it's like going into everything. And that's why it's such a powerful healing chant, is because it does call in all layers of existence that we see this light through all things. So let's chant. I'm going to just explain just a tiny bit about just a couple of pronunciation points. So you'll see the BH in the first mantras and also in the rest of the chant. So BH is pronounced B, so it has a bit of an expired sound, and it actually, when you go B, it actually drops you into your heart center when you say it with the proper pronunciation of the Sanskrit. So Om Bhu, Om Bhu, Om Bhuvaha. So Om Bhuvaha. Then Om Suvaha. Om Suvaha. Om Mahaha. Om Mahaha. Om Janaha. Om Janaha. Om Tapaha. Om Tapaha. Om Satyam. Om Satyam. Beautiful. And then Tat Savitur Varenyam. Tat Savitur Varenyam. Bhago Devasya Dhimahi.
Bhago Devasya Dhimahi.
Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya.
Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya.
Beautiful, you've got it. So as we go through the mantras, you can close your eyes and sort of visualize into the 7 chakras as well. So I'm going to sing it twice on each chakra. So if you want to listen first, you can, but feel free to chant it twice with me for the first one, and then we'll just do it all together.
Suvaha
Yeah. Beautiful. So we're going to do some chanting now. So kirtan, if you haven't ever been to a kirtan, it's really just the joy of singing, and the joy of singing sacred words and names that also, has very strong effect on our energy bodies. So part of the magic of kirtan is also the call and response. So it's partially a great way just to learn the chant, to just first really listen and absorb, and then for everybody to sing together. So it's sort of like the masculine and the feminine, the yin and the yang, the receiving and the giving. So you're receiving as I sing, and I receive when you guys all sing. So I get the best part. So bhakti yoga is the yoga of devotion and of love. So the word bhav is also got the bhav is a word for the love that can come when we're chanting or when we're in that really devotional space. So I invite the bhav into the space. And I want you also to feel very welcome to do, stand up and dance and sing if you want to, clap your hands if you want to, sing some harmonies if it feels like it wants to come. This is really like a joyous practice of just being in the heart. So when we're chanting, I personally, for my practice, I like to sort of imagine almost as though I'm chanting from my heart center, not just from my mouth. So it's like your whole heart is involved in this practice. It's also a very awesome practice for clearing the emotional body. I feel like sometimes in this world, like, things can get pretty crazy, and trying to sit down and meditate into the beautiful stillness that we all dropped into just before is sometimes difficult. And through sound, I find that it can lead me into that space, like a pointer towards that space, and I can drop more deeply into that space after the chant. So I like to sit a little bit in that stillness after the chant. But also it sort of allows us to sink into that vibrational space of sound where everything is a part of. So but the vibration of the universe is in all things, and sound is a very beautiful way that we can bring that the divineness of that into existence. So the first chant that I'd like to chant is Jaya Sitaram. It's called Baba Hanuman on the chant list there. But again, I encourage you not to even look at it, because it's actually a really nice practice just to listen and to get it that way. I really love Hanuman. This is Hanuman here. It's the monkey god. He's the god of devotion and of divine love. And I really enjoy this little quote that I read once. So Ram is who Hanuman is devoted to. And Ram says to Hanuman, "Hanuman, are you monkey or are you man?" And Hanuman says, when I don't know who I am, and I'm going to just find my words. When I don't know who I am, I serve you. When I do know who I am you, for I and you are one. So let's chant this one together. This one actually is not so much call and response after me just saying all of that, but it's a really beautiful one to sing together. So I'll just start off with a little introduction.
Ram
hear all your voices. So nice. Yeah, nice sound in here. Very good. So the next chant is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So essentially, this translates to I bow to the divine light within. So Vasu is the light. And it's also related to Krishna, who is the embodiment of divine love. So it's bringing in that divine essence of love and light. And this is also considered to be a moksha mantra, which is a mantra that can lead to liberation. So we'll all be liberated by the end of this chant. So I just wanted to begin this chant just with a little bit of writing. So if you want to just close your eyes and listen and just soak this in. And just taking a few deep breaths into the heart center. Let the river of these names take you. Let yourself float in the beauty of your own heart. Into the ocean of love that fills all space, that always is, that only is. When we know ourselves to be that, then we can be this too. Then we can play. We are free and bound in the same breath. The breath of the One breathes in us. It is okay to be messed up, to feel small, to feel sad and hurt, with no hope of ever seeing a good day. It's okay to forget, to be forgotten, to be left behind. It's okay to be betrayed, strung out on everything that everyone has ever done to us, and we can't ever forgive because the breath of the One breathes in us, breathes us, even when we don't know. Om Namo Bhagavate Ram
That's good as well. That's good.
So I think it's fitting to sort of go into a Radhe chant after this. So Krishna and Radhe are divine consorts of each other. They're the divine union. And Radharani is like the highest form of Radhe. And Radhe is the personification of pure devotional love. And I really love one little story that I want to share. So it's a story about Krishna and Radhe. So Krishna meets Radhe, and Radhe is like a gopi. She's a cow herder. But they have this special connection, and they fall in love, but everybody falls, all the gopis, all the women fall in love with Krishna, all the men and all the women fall in love with Krishna, because he is divine love. How can you not? Anyway, Krishna is sent away from Radhe, or from where he was to rule, and Radhe obviously misses him a lot, and over time Krishna sends one of his disciples to go and check on what's happening and how Radhe is and how everything is. And he comes back and reports to Krishna saying, Radhe has lost it, she's gone crazy. And he's like, oh, how so? And he says, she's calling everything Krishna. Everything is Krishna. And he says, good. Because she sees divine love in all things. So it's a good reminder that, in everything is that essence of love. And that's the energy that we're calling in with Radhe. It's pure divine love that transcends all duality. So the words are Radharani ki jai, Radharani ki jai, Maharani ki jai, Bolo Radha Govinda, ki jai jai jai. Yeah. And Radhe Radhe Sham, Bolo Radhe Radhe Sham. Radhe Radhe Sham, Bolo Radhe Radhe Sham. So let's do this one as call and response, so we can sort of sink into that receiving and giving.
Tanya,
Yes.
Steve, you asked me that time with all the lost our watches, mate. I think Steve has lost his watch. You go as long as you. Right.
My watch just hit that Queensland time, so.
We can.
He
does that, yeah.
Just an extra
Another hour
That's
would be fine.
I thought something was wrong.
We can just pick which hour we want.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Ki jai Maharani Jai Okay, so this is going to be the last chant. I was going to say to you. Right, here we go. So this is probably my ultimate favorite chant. During sort of COVID times, I made it a practice to learn all the Sanskrit to this chant, and it's a very deep chant that helps you to sort of clear away any negativity. So basically, this is calling in the goddess Chandi, and Chandi is a form of Durga and Kali. So you may all know of Kali, who is the goddess that is usually sort of portrayed as like this full-on woman with her tongue hanging out and black, often with lots of arms and skulls around her neck and arms hanging around her. And oftentimes, she's sort of feared, and it's like the fierce goddess. But she also has the fierce compassion. And one of the stories that I really love, and partially what is actually sort of talked about in this chant, is how she conquers the demons. And what I love about one of the stories that I read is that when she slays the demon falls to the ground and then looks up at her, and he says, "Ma, Ma, Ma," and then just dissolves back into her. And this to me was just so beautiful, that it's like all aspects of self get eaten up into that divinity, into that oneness, into that place of no separation. It is all the one. So I'm going to say a little bit of the translation of what I'm actually seeing. So the first part that I am going to sing is an invocation to her, and it's a beautiful calling in of her energy in all her forms. And the translation is, "She who conquers over all auspiciousness, the remover of darkness, the supreme one beyond time, the bearer of the skulls of impure thought, the reliever of all difficulties, loving forgiveness, the supporter of the universe. You are the one who truly receives the offerings made to the gods and the ancestors. I bow to you. Victory to you." She is the slayer of passion and anger. She's the slayer of too little and too much. And then we will chant this mantra together, which is Rupam Dehi. You want to say it?
Rupam Dehi.
Jayam Dehi.
Jayam Dehi.
Yasho Dehi.
Yasho Dehi.
Dvisho Jahi.
Dvisho Jahi.
So Rupam Dehi is, may we embody you. That oneness. May we become your form of liberation. Grant us that. Jayam Dehi is grant us victory over all suffering. Yasho Dehi is grant us well-being and prosperity and health. And Dvisho Chahi is remove all negativity. I bow to you. So I'll be chanting an introduction, which is what I've just said in English. And then each Sanskrit line afterwards you repeat with Rupam Dehi. So the response is Rupam Dehi, Jayam Dehi. And then we're going to shift into another little aspect of this, which is Om Namo Durga, Prema Devi Mataji.
Okay.
So Om Namo is I bow to you. Prema Devi is, Prema is love. Devi, the goddess, so I bow to the goddess of divine love. Anyway, you'll follow.
This is to Kali.
Yeah, Chandi, which is a form of Kali. Yeah,
Kali.
Chandi.
So Tanya, so we're going to cut out the large version at the very end when we get to see.
Yeah, sure, you can do that. I'll just listen.
So, for those people watching online, this will be the ultimate song of the afternoon, but we will be leading you towards the end, and you will not be hearing a little bit of this, and the people who are present here will tell you about it later, because it is the masterpiece. So we're going to listen to the song. Steve, we're not cutting out. I'm just pointing out to you that there will be a point that I'm going to take that microphone and turn off the live. But you people here will know what's going on. It'll become obvious to you. Thank you. Now, is there anything that you really need to say before Tanya takes us into the zone? Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. No. Good. You'll work it out.
You're going to come and turn it off when you're ready?
I will turn it off. Tanya will. I'll know what's going on.
Yeah, you can handle all that.
Great thing, Charles.
Yeah.
So we can all begin with chanting Om Namah Chandikaye 3 times together. Om Namah Chandikaye. Om Namah Chandikaye. Om Namah Chandikaye. Jaya
Thank you.